This is KGW News at noon.
We begin with breaking news. The McMinnville Police Department has arrested a person in connection with a fire at a pizza shop and movie theater. 38-year-old Megan Ray is now facing 4 charges, including reckless burning. She was arrested around 3:30 this morning in Sheridan. The fire started in the middle of the night last week at 3rd Street Pizza. It's home to both the pizza shop and movie theater. It took fire crews about 30 minutes to put it out. They were able to keep it from spreading to neighboring businesses. The restaurant owner says the plan is to reopen once repairs are done. Also, right now, firefighters are working to put a wildfire that started burning yesterday in Beaver Creek. It's small in size, but firefighters are worried about the warm, dry weather. Thank you for tuning in to us at noon. I'm Christine Pitawanich. We saw smoke from what they're calling the Forest Park fire on our sky camera in downtown Portland. Clackamas Fire gave us an update this morning. They met with crews from the Oregon Department of Forestry today to come up with a game plan. It's burning 30 acres. But is 0% contained at this point. Hand crews and heavy equipment have made a fire line about halfway around the fire. More resources are on the way today, and there's also a helicopter ready if needed. Mike Benner is headed to the fire line right now. He'll have live reports tonight starting on KGW News at 4. Okay, meteorologist Chris McGinnis here now. Chris, are we expecting more dry weather in the near future?
Yeah, and I wanted to go back to the point about it being dry and warm and kind of keeping the fire conditions prime here. From our Wells Fargo sky camera, you can see a little bit of haze in the air here as we look obviously off to the south of downtown Portland here. Can't see necessarily a plume, but in any event, I wanted to point out that air quality, despite that fire right now in the area, is generally in pretty good shape. Here's a look at the smoke plume forecast from that fire burning near Beaver Creek, and you can see the wind, the prevailing wind is generally out of the north over the next couple of days, and so that'll keep any smoke related to that fire generally blowing through Clackamas County and then up into the Cascades. Speaking of which, we take you live up into, to Timberline Lodge. Our camera pointed southwards Mount Jefferson, probably a little bit of haze created from that wildfire smoke there. Meanwhile, to the Oregon coast, it is clear. It's a beautiful day there. And our Rose City sky camera shows just a clear, crystal clear sky right now over downtown. It's 65 degrees last check at PDX. As we mentioned, the breeze generally out of the west-northwest. Right now at about 5 miles an hour. That'll pick up later this afternoon. And we've got a great finish to our work week. We'll be inching through the 70s towards about 76, maybe 77 this afternoon. The short answer to your question is yes, the warm, dry weather will continue into the weekend. And Christine, we do have some 90s in our 7-day forecast. I'll show you that coming up in just a few minutes.
90s seem too warm. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Chris. Tonight, President Biden will be delivering a primetime address a day after the Senate passed a debt limit bill. We'll air that live right here on KGW at 4 o'clock. But in a 63-36 vote, senators passed the bipartisan agreement to raise the debt ceiling in exchange for spending cuts. Senators introduced 11 amendments, all shot down, including Virginia Senator Tim Kaine's attempt to block efforts to speed up completion of a controversial gas pipeline.
Virginians don't want to have their land taken for a pipeline unless there is a thorough process.
This project has been scrutinized every which way. It has been to the circuit court 9 different times.
After the bill passed, Moody's released a statement saying the U.S.'s AAA credit rating is intact and will not be downgraded. The Department of Justice will not charge former Vice President Mike Pence for having classified documents at his Indiana home. The DOJ sent a letter to Pence's attorney yesterday informing him that the case is closed. The news comes days before Pence plans to launch his campaign for the Republican presidential nomination. Back in the Pacific Northwest, police have arrested members of an international crime ring who are accused of stealing name-brand clothing up and down the West Coast. Investigators say the thieves took tens of thousands of dollars worth of merchandise in Oregon, Washington, and California. Kristen Goodwillie shows us how police finally stopped them in Bellevue, Washington.
This particular group has been very polished in the way that they execute their crimes.
Dozens of security officers have eyes on the 51 acres that make up the Bellevue collection, including Bellevue Square Mall.
The key is a 24/7 dedicated dispatch center where they have immediate access to 1,300 cameras.
Those cameras and officers were essential in what amounted to a 2-year investigation. It started when a national chain reached out about thefts to multiple stores.
Our partner stores in Oregon, in LA, are getting hit by this particular group.
Director of Security Carl Kleinneck found matching license plates and began working with other mall security companies.
If one of us detects them on our property, we notify the others because they're likely going to be going to the other location.
On May 20th, Kleinneck received that notification from a Pierce County shopping center.
These folks were just seen on our premises. Heads up. 45 minutes later, they're here.
3 people were arrested.
I think our loss was well into the $70,000 range.
Bellevue Police Major David Sanabria says they were discreet and utilized the I-5 corridor.
You would be amazed at how far spread these organized retail crime rings are.
Mark Johnson with the Washington Retail Association says last year its members lost almost $3 billion in product in Washington.
Part of the reason prices go up in stores is because they're trying to cover for their massive losses.
While this arrest won't put a stop to stealing, it does make a dent.
Accountability, accountability, accountability is what is going to turn the tide.
That was Kristen Goodwillie reporting. The King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office is reviewing charges at this point. The 3 suspects have been released from jail. Okay, the Oregon State Senate will be convening on Monday, and if Republicans don't show up, Senate President Rob Wagner says they'll have to pay up. The walkout is now in its 5th week. Wagner plans to fine absent senators $325 a day. Democrats tried this during a walkout back in 2019, but never collected the fines after Republicans threatened to sue. The current walkout is over bills dealing with abortion, gender-affirming care as well. Senate Minority Leader Tim Knopp released a statement yesterday criticizing Wagner and suggested Wagner should be the person responsible for paying Republican senators fines. People who run some of the homeless shelters in Portland are voicing their concerns about a proposal to ban daytime camping in the city. They say it'll push them to their limits and could lead to unintended consequences. Alma McCarty has the story.
Every day is busy. A little over a year ago, we moved from a facility that was 3,000 square feet into this beautiful 10,000 square foot facility, and it's full. We are full, and we're seeing about 150 people a day.
Katie O'Brien runs Rosehaven, a day shelter for women, children, and gender-diverse people. In the last year, they've served thousands living on the streets of Portland.
We know that it's a small portion.
In Old Town, a similar story at Blanchet House, according to Executive Director Scott Kerman.
Just finished the month of May, and we served nearly 28,000 meals. We had our busiest Wednesday night dinner that we can remember in a long time last night, nearly 500 meals.
These figures alone show a growing need even before a possible daytime camping ban takes effect. City Council expected to vote on the measure next Wednesday. Both Kerman and O'Brien expressed their concerns to Portland leaders this week.
This measure will require us to do even more as people are affected.
It's also going to really complicate things for women who tend to stay awake at night and sleep during the daytime for safety reasons.
To carry your house and your life around with you with the expectation that you're also going to come to a place like Rosehaven and be productive. It's just adding to the problem.
A lot of the people that we serve at Blanchet House are elderly, they're disabled. We're trying to imagine what that's going to be like for them if they have to move their things from place to place to place.
Both centers also noting a financial burden with this potential ban. Neither is funded by government dollars.
We've existed for 26 years without a nickel of government funding while providing a huge public benefit. We're at our threshold. And how's the city going to help us?
Mayor Wheeler verbally committing during the public hearing to working with day shelters on that request.
We just don't have enough places for people to go, and I don't think that this ordinance is going to magically make that so.
Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Mayor Wheeler says if passed, enforcement of the ban would be phased in over time. City leaders and supporters see it as a first step in another plan the mayor announced last year. That's the one to develop 6 sanctioned mass camping sites across the city. We still don't know when those will open. And to a quick heads up for you, Tillamook has issued a recall for its chocolate peanut butter ice cream. The company says the containers are mislabeled because inside is actually their waffle cone swirl ice cream. So that's a concern for anyone with wheat or soy allergies. Tillamook says just under 1,500 cartons were distributed to Safeway stores in Washington and North Idaho. Customers can bring them back for a full refund.